Have you ever heard of a program called Personal Quantum Transformation? It's a pretty bold name, and it comes from a group called the Angel Wing. They claim it's a systematic way to achieve personal excellence. So what's really going on here? What's the deal with this ambitious idea? Well, that's what we're going to deconstruct today.
So, first question, what is personal quantum transformation? The name sounds super complex, right? But the idea at its core is actually pretty simple. It's all about taking a quantum leap into a state of total balance. But here's the kind of funny part. This big, sudden leap, it's actually built on a really long-term plan.
And when I say long-term, I am not kidding. This is not some weekend workshop we're talking about. It's this whole multi-year blueprint for personal change, with a 7-stage vision that's designed to take you from the absolute basics all the way to a state they call human upliftment.
Okay, so check out this structure. What's so interesting to me is that the entire first year is dedicated to just one thing, getting a foundational balance across 12 different dimensions of your life. The program basically argues that you can't even think about things like self-mastery or excellence until that stable foundation is built and then sustained.
All right, so if a whole year is dedicated to them, these 12 dimensions must be pretty important, right? So what are they? According to the program, these are the essential building blocks for any kind of balanced life. Let's take a look.
And wow, this list really covers the whole shebang, doesn't it? You've got the practical stuff like your career and finances, but then it gets into the really personal stuff, mental health, relationships, and it even goes bigger, thinking about your contribution to society and your overall life vision. The program basically presents these as the universal areas that every single person has to deal with.
And that right there, that's the big goal for year one. It's not about being a rock star in your career while everything else falls apart. Nope. The explicit goal is to get all 12 of these things into a state of complete and sustained balance, all at the same time.
Okay, that sounds great, but how on earth do you do that? How do you balance all of that? Well, the program says it all comes down to one single central philosophy that powers the entire system, the core energy concept.
Okay, this quote right here, this is basically the DNA of the entire 7-year program. The whole philosophy is packed into these sentences. It all boils down to this idea that managing your inner energy is the key that unlocks, well, everything. So, let's break down what they actually mean by that.
So, first things first, the program basically says, think of your mind like a smartphone. It needs a ton of energy to run, right? And just like your phone battery, that inner energy you have, it's a finite resource. It runs down during the day.
Next up, they say that all those personal conflicts, the worry, the stress, the arguments, all that stuff we deal with, they're like tiny leaks in your energy tank. They cause this unnecessary dissipation, as they call it. Basically, you're just draining away your life force on stuff that doesn't really help you move forward.
And here's the payoff. If you can plug those leaks, if you can stop that drain by getting rid of those conflicts, that conserved energy has to go somewhere, right? It doesn't just vanish. The idea is that it gets redirected and it flows back into and revitalizes every part of your life, all 12 of those dimensions we just saw. And that, they claim, is what opens up limitless possibilities.
All right, so the philosophy sounds interesting, but how do you actually do it? Like, what's the first step? Well, the program introduces 2 really specific, tangible concepts right out of the gate in week 1 to put this energy idea into practice: acceptance and something pretty unique called vitamin M. So quantum transformation principle number 1 is acceptance. And what they mean by that is this state of mind where you can just embrace what's happening right now, your thoughts, your feelings, your situation, without fighting it, without resisting it. This is their strategic first move to stop that energy drain we were just talking about. All the energy you waste fighting things you just can't change.
And they are really clear about this one distinction. Acceptance is not the same thing as resignation. Resignation is passive, right? It's just giving up. But in their system, acceptance is an active thing. You're actively facing reality, not to give up, but so you have a solid, real place to start building from. It's the starting line for change, not the finish line.
Now, the second concept, this is where things get a little different. It's called vitamin M. And yep, the M stands for money. The program makes this really interesting conceptual leap, framing actual physical money as a form of your raw inner energy. And then it teaches you how to use it like a concentrated vitamin.
And the actual practice is super specific. You get an envelope,
Every week you put some cash in it, say 10 or 20 bucks. And here's the key. You do not spend it. The goal isn't just to save money in the normal sense, it's about changing how you see money, treating it like a powerful vitamin. The whole idea is that this simple act of respecting and preserving this energy source helps you stop draining it on things you'll regret, and that, in turn, energizes all 12 dimensions of your life.
So, let's recap. We've got the long-term plan, the 12 dimensions, the core energy philosophy, and those first practical steps. It all comes together in this one really powerful metaphor that the program's presenter Sachin Karnik uses to tie the whole system together.
And this is it. This is the ultimate promise of the program. The whole idea of conserving and revitalizing your inner energy is framed as a single master key. Think about it. Instead of running around trying to find 10,000 different keys for the 10,000 different problems in your life, the program argues that if you just focus on this one thing, managing your energy, that one key will open every single door.
So there you have it, a quick look inside the Personal Quantum Transformation Program. It's this super-structured, long-term approach that's all built around one central idea: managing your inner energy. It's a really fascinating system, and it kind of leaves us with a pretty big question to think about for ourselves, right? When you look back at that list, those 12 dimensions of life, how balanced are your own?